team from Samarth, the employee management team, Kaushik and Sagar, they're there. So, sir, with your permission, sir, we're starting. So, Amar Khedina, that my English by Hindi te batiye sir, because Kaushik got to answer. So that day, the discussion that we had, so that was we have shown the steps of how roster is to be configured in the system, but there were certain inputs that came in, very crucial inputs that came in from certain zonal coordinators and some other colleges. So accordingly, all of these things were again checked and it is fixed. So now I request Kaushik and Sagar to kindly share their screens and show this part. And in the course of the meeting itself, we will also share the manual of the current process that we are demonstrating. And we request that while the demonstration is going on, we request that there is no, please don't type anything in the chat box because that will deviate the entire process and you may miss out on certain crucial points. So please have a look at the entire process. Once the process is done, then we can take up questions in the chat box. So Kaushik and Sagar, over to you. I'll chip in wherever it is required. And by the end of this demonstration, we will be sharing the manual as well. Kaushik, are you there?
Yes, I am. Just a second. I've texted you something on WhatsApp. Can you please check?
Okay, so who can? Sagar is there.
We would like to request from the college's end. So as we have updated it, so if one college can start the particular. Okay. If they can share the screen.
No, first you show it, then we'll ask the college to do it in the same manner.
Okay.
So basically, just to give a idea, so here I am sharing my screen. Is my screen visible? Is my screen visible?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Is visible? Yeah. So if you go to the employee management, you go to HRMS, you'll get to see these things. You won't see the sanction order, you'll see allotment number and the positions. And here you'll have the roster. You click on the roster here. And so I'm again repeating one thing. Which I already told on Saturday. So I'm repeating one thing all over again. So there were a lot of questions and queries regarding this. That some colleges, most of the colleges, they have done their HRMS configuration. So this is a continuation of the HRMS configuration. So the colleges have done this part. They've done the allotment order has been placed. The positions have been created. And after that, the employees who were imported earlier, these employees were assigned to the particular positions under this category of update position. So the employees are there, and after the employees, these employees were then assigned one by one. Employees by going to the service section, we had shown that exercise. So then one by one, the employees were assigned. So after the employees are assigned, now we have seen that in the HRMS, we are doing a two-step verification. In the HRMS, we have already created certain positions. After the positions are created, then let's say in this particular college, this is a live thing that I'm showing. In this particular college, there are 3 allotted positions, and against the 3 allotted positions, these people, 2 OBC, 1 ST, these people are already assigned. there could be a situation in certain college where suppose there are only 2 working incumbents in that particular college. So the allotted positions for that particular department, let's say mathematics department, allotted position is 3, and then there were 2 OBC position, and let's say there are 1 SC position. So the 2 OBC people are assigned, so it will take as sanctioned here. And if nobody in the other categories are assigned, it will show as 0. So if it shows as 0, so you may think that we had already created a position earlier, but now that position has relinquished. The position is no more there. So if this position is not there, then in that case, you have to first check that this thing, the allotted total number of allotted positions, this is very important. If you have the total number of allotted positions as you have created in HRMS, that is what it should be. So while creating these HRMS positions, or we have got certain as things proceeded, we had seen that there were certain updates in the categories. There were certain updates in the unreserved category or in the OBC category in the roster notification. So if there were updates within the departments, so in that case, what happened is you had the appointed. So against those appointed people who were there, so their nature of post had to be marked first. Nature of employment had to be marked, their sanction order, allotment orders, all of these are to be marked. Then the institution name comes. As an admin, it doesn't come here, but for your end, it will come. The department comes, designation comes, and the appointed category. Once you assign all of these, then what happens is it gets updated in the sanction part. If you do not assign it, it will not get updated in the sanction part. So this was an exercise that was done. So now, if it is a case like this one where 3 and 3 sanction, it is all fine, it's okay. But if there is a case where one of the position is lying vacant and there are only 2 working incumbents, so in that case, the 2 working people who are assigned, they will occupy the sanction positions, and for one of them, it will not show in any of the categories. Rather, we'll come to this exercise. Here we'll be creating the rosters for every college. Okay, we'll be creating the roster for every college, and for every college, when we create the roster, college-wise, when you create the roster, so at that point, you will start to actually take into consideration the latest DHE roster notification, roster notification approved by the Directorate of Higher Education. So you have to take that into consideration, and then accordingly, as the fields are there in the roster, similarly you will have to enter. But before we proceed with this, I just want to make certain clarifications. See, first of all, for any college, it could be maximum 4 types of roster and minimum 3 types of roster. 4 maximum, that means for teaching, there will be 1 roster. For non-teaching, grade 4, there will be 1 roster. For grade 3, junior assistant, there will be 1 roster. And for senior assistant, there will be 1 roster, which will be a promotional roster. I mean, that will have all the promotional post, because senior assistant is a promotional post. It is not direct recruitment post. So maximum there could be 4. And minimum there could be 3, because in certain colleges, the senior assistant could be a single cadre post. So if it is a single cadre post, then there is no roster requirement in case of a single cadre post. So there are certain, so maximum of 4 and minimum of 3. That is by and large the roster notifications that you will have. So I'm just showing you certain mistakes that you should not do, like this one. This is one of the roster that was created. Here it is a librarian, and against librarian a roster is a position is created, but that is not the case. For librarian, which is a single cadre post, there is no point of having a roster. For principal, which is a single cadre post, there is no point of having a roster. So for them, roster is not required. Only for the positions which are more than one, here you will require the rosters. So this may sound very primitive, but I'm repeating this thing again and again because so that there is no, there's nothing misses out. So first, this is what we have to do. Second is, for roster, there are two parts. One is the rotational roster. So it will be mentioned here, roster type, rotational and replacement. Rotational roster is essentially a roster where the cadre strength is 2. It is more than 1 and less than 14. From 2 to 13. If your cadre strength ranges between 2 to 13, it is going to be a rotational roster. If it is 14 or higher, it will be a replacement roster. If it is less than 2, single cadre, there will be no roster requirement because it will become a single cadre post. So these are the things which are the thumb rules that we have to take into consideration about the rosters. And then multiple rosters for every point, for everything is not to be created. So if anybody has done some mistakes, you can send a mail. We'll delete this part. We'll make it inactive so that you can redo it again. But this is only for this particular college, but not for every college. Please don't keep doing mistakes and then send us updated. This will not be possible. So as we proceed with the rosters, so in the roster, as you proceed, you'll click on add roster. Employee type has to be created. It can be a teaching roster or a non-teaching roster. If you're putting a teaching roster, your parent OU will come. You can select any of your college, assignment. For a teaching roster, we have to understand that when we are making rosters, we are talking about the substantive positions allotted, sanctioned to that particular organization. So we all know that for all our provincialized colleges, the sanctioned teaching positions in 2005 was lecturers, which eventually UGC renomenclated it as assistant professor. So for teaching, no matter your teaching employees may eventually get promoted to associate professor or may get promoted or may be appointed again as a principal. But these are life cycle events of a particular employee. But the employee may progress vertically against a substantive post to the position of a principal, or in the teaching paradigm, they may rise till the level of the associate professor. But the post will not change. The substantive post is of an assistant professor. So when an associate professor retires, that post falls vacant and an appointment is made in the entry level grade of pay of the assistant professor, not of the associate professors. So that is why for teaching rosters, assistant professors will be there. And the sanctioned positions. Now this is for a particular college, what are the total number of departments? Let's say, if I say Guwahati College, 12 college, so here the sanctioned number of positions, let's say there are 57 teaching positions. Now here also you have to again, I'm repeating one thing again. In our college itself, there's one employee who is a completely permanent employee, whose nature of employment is permanent, but the nature of post is supernumerary. So if the nature of post is supernumerary, that post is not to be created in the roster. So we will not make it 58. We will only make 57 because 57 number of posts were assigned to that particular group and the government sanction and allotment letters. So 57 number of sanctions. So here the sanction position means the substantive number of positions assigned to a particular college. Here the supernumerary number of positions are not to be included. And direct correlation with the roster. It has been told again and again, multiple times. the supernumerary post will not be included in the roster. Personnel post will not be included in the roster. Roster only substitutions will be there. Once you click on save here, you can proceed. But since this is a live portal, I'll not proceed with this save and then go to the next part. So instead, just Sagar to share your screen and please show that part, because once I do it, it will get configured. Kaushik, Sagar, are you there?
Yes, just a second.
Yeah.
Hello, Pranjal. As Pranjal sir suggested, we'll create the roster first. Okay, so this is the roster created. Now, after the roster, you need to configure the points.
I'm fully invested.
We'll create all the points.
Excuse me. Excuse me, Pranjal sir.
Yes.
Excuse me, Pranjal sir. I'm from Tezpur College. Actually, in Tezpur College SAMARTH Portal, there is no roster bottom. Roster bottom is not added here. Windows is not open. Tezpur College মানে পোর্টেলত roster bottom to নাই, সেইটো আমি পোৱা নাই।
Sir, ক'টো roster button to আহা নাই এতিয়া, এই demonstration টোৰ পাছতে sir আপোনালোকৰ roster button খিনি available হ'ব আৰু এই কাৰণে প্ৰথম দেখাই লোৱা হৈছে, তাৰপিছত roster button টো পাব আৰু আমাৰ এইটো roster button টো পোৱাৰ আগে আগে আপুনি manual খনো প্ৰথমতে পাব। আপোনালোকে এতিয়া চাই লওক, চাই পেলাই manual খন এবাৰ পঢ়ি চাব, তাৰ পাছত আপোনালোকে কামখিনি আগবঢ়াব পাৰিব।
ঠিক আছে, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Sagar, there was some network issue with my. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay.
So basically, the roster was configured to be a 31-point roster, but 31 points to be configured will take a lot of time. So I've made it 10 points.
I'm just telling you please continue. I'll just show this thing.
Yes.
I'll give a narration of this. So, so that part till which I had demonstrated, after you save that, then there will be a position. There will be an option of point configuration. So when you go for point configuration, so we have mentioned it in the manual very, very clearly that the updated roster from the Directorate of Higher Education is to be taken into consideration. So this has been made very, very clear. Refer only to the latest approved and signed roster notification from the Directorate of Higher Education, Assam. So there should not be anything which is beyond the approved roster. And if you find that the roster is to be approved, you can get it approved. But the entries in the portal here will be done from the principal's IDs. So any changes, any wrong entries here will have a windfall effect, will have a dominoes effect on all the things, vacancies. It will not get correlated with the employees. It will have effect on the appointment module. It will have effect on the inter-college service migration. It will have effect on all of it. So this has to be done very, very carefully. Completely as per the main guiding document here is the latest approved roster notification from the Directorate of Higher Education. So here, Sagar, एक बार वो दिखा दो, एक बार we point configuration one बार. So in the point configuration, here you will see that there is this point status vacant. So there's a drop down here. You can click on the drop down. So here there are recruited and vacant. Okay, recruited and vacant. So these are one of the point configurations. So if a particular point in your roster notification is lying vacant, you'll mark it as vacant. You just mark it as vacant and you put the appointed category as it is there in the roster. So also take special care of the appointed category and the social category. The social category of a particular incumbent could be different, but the appointed category may be different. Somebody in any particular reserve category may be appointed under UR. So the appointed categories may be different and the social categories may be different. So while you put vacant and you put the appointed category and the designation department, that particular thing gets fixed. Then you move on to the next point status. Suppose in point number 2, you have a recruited faculty. So please you type on recruited. So in recruited, now the appointed category in your roster, the roster point for roster point number 2, let's say is SC or it is OBC. So when you click on OBC, these are the employees who are showing in the drop down. Okay, these are the 2 OBC employees mentioned. I mean, the appointed categories are all mentioned by you. So these are the employees in the drop down. You change the OBC to something else. सागर ओबीसी का कुछ और चेंज करना, अपॉइंटेड कैटेगरी अनरिजर्व कर दो.
हाँ सर, क्या आपको स्क्रीन थोड़ी सी शायद लेट दिख रही है, बट
एसटी आ रहा है.
हाँ एसटी
नहीं अनरिजर्व करो, रिक्रूटेड अनरिजर्व करो. Now click on the employees. So now you have seen that the employees have changed. So when you clicked on OBC, the employee was different. When you clicked on unreserved, the employees changed. Okay. So these are the unreserved employees who were mentioned while you updated the positions. When you put on OBC, these are the things that will come. So accordingly, precisely the way you have updated position, similarly you have to update the roster here. Complete you can take the rosters as it is, the roster approved roster notification, and one by one you can start filling it up. And one thing is to be understood here is that here you are not supposed to make entries. So it is not. There is one message you have got in chat box. It is not showing for any college other than the zonal coordinators who were given for testing. Otherwise, it is not showing any. I mean that the roster notification, the roster button is not showing. It will show after the demonstration is done, so that there is no erroneous entry, there is nothing else. So it is properly demonstrated. We'll provide the manual, and then we will expect you to do it the way it is to be done. So here you have the vacant part, and then the recruited. First thing is Once you start creating a roster, you will have to create the exact type of roster that was approved. That means in DHE, for teaching, you don't have multiple rosters. For non-teaching, you don't have multiple rosters. Okay? For non-teaching, you don't have, you have multiple rosters. For non-teaching, for a particular cadre, you don't have multiple. That means for grade 4, you have one roster. For grade 3 junior assistant, you have one roster. For grade 3 senior assistant, you will have another roster. So maximum 4 and minimum 1. This is to be checked. And the next thing is, when you go for roster point configuration, here you have to understand that if your roster cadre strength is less than 14, automatically that roster will become a rotational roster. If your more than 14 or more than 14, then it will become a replacement roster. And it is irrespective of, please, anybody whose microphone is on, you can please.
Congratulations, Gompalu.
Kaushik, you can please mute the microphone. So here, so this thing has to be done that for teaching, rotational rosters means if your cadre strength is between 2 to 13. If it is less than 14, more than 1, that is rotational. If it is more 14 or more than 14, that is replacement. And the second thing is, there should not be anything like the teaching rosters are always replacement, the non-teaching rosters can only be rotational. No. If you go by the guidelines, it is cadre strength dependent. So irrespective of the roster, a teaching roster can also be a rotational roster. There are colleges in Assam where the cadre strength of teaching is less than 14. And there are colleges where even for the non-teaching part, the cadre strength is more than 14. So there are non-teaching rosters which are replacement rosters, and there are teaching rosters which are also rotational rosters. So there should not be a watertight compartmentalization that only non-teaching rosters will be rotational and only teaching rosters, no matter what the cadre is, it will be replacement. No, it will be cadre based. So these things are to be checked, and after these things are checked, then you can proceed. Yes, now Sagar दिखा दो आगे. Point configuration दिखा दिया.
Yes. So after point configuration, you need to validate your PTR.
So after point configuration, there will be a PTR update. So now this PTR update is something which is now the system calculated thing. The system calculated point is for every. I request all the members to kindly mute your microphone, otherwise it will create unnecessary disturbances. So now assistant professor, then you have the departments. Against every department, the student strength is placed as system calculated. Now the system calculated means we are telling you where it is being calculated. This thing is fetched from the respective university's profile, from the university's portal, where your examinations are running. So for examinations, you have different students, and so now from this year onwards, you will have all the 3 years under the SAMARTH examination module. In certain universities, you had certain years running under SAMARTH and the final years running in the older system. Now, from this current batch onwards, all the students, right from the first semester to the last semester, all of these batches will be in SAMARTH. So the system, student strength, the system calculated, that is based on the students who have enrolled and who have appeared or who have, registered for examination in the previous semester with your affiliated university. From there, the student's strength is auto-fetched your employee positions are here. So the PTR that is getting calculated will be a system calculated PTR. And after that, so here what is shown is wrong. I mean, it will be a properly system calculated PTR. It will be student strength by the total employee in position, man in position. So it will be divided 47 divided by 5, not 0.5. And then over and above that, for the principal's end, you will also get an option to update. If you find that the system calculated score or the score that is fetched from the university that is not correct, and if you feel that there are one or two students who are missing out, the number does not match. In that case, in that particular department, you can first cross-verify it with the university portal whether these are a number of students who are there, because it may be possible that you had, let's say, 49 students in that particular department, and 2 students you have marked them as non-collegiate, or you have marked them as discollegiate. For that matter, they have not been allowed to sit for examination. That is why these 2 students are not getting fetched. So if there is a provision as per the guidelines, university guidelines, that the students will continue to do their classes, and you think that these 2 students are not showing here, so you can update the student strength here. 47, you can put it as 49. But later on, for the vacancy assessment, and when this thing will go to the DHE, to the director madam, and to other higher authorities for granting of permission for advertisement of a particular post, then remember both the entries will be shown. So for the higher authorities to take a decision, employee in position will be fixed. That will be one. Then system calculated PTR, and both the system calculated student strength and the student strength entered by the college. Both of these will be shown. So now it will be discretion of the higher authorities which one of it is to be taken, what is to be considered, and accordingly whether or not the permission is to be accorded for that particular vacancy will be ascertained. So these are the steps. So that is why this PTR calculation is there. So vacancy 1, sanction strength 1, employee position 1, this will all be accurately shown once all of these will be configured properly. ठीक है सागर आगे.
Excuse me, may I ask one quick question? Excuse me.
So once we complete, so we'll take the questions. Sir.
Okay, thank you.
So after updating PTR, most of your work is done, but for some cases, for Bodo positions,
yes,
we have yes, sir. So we
there are 20 positions in Bodo, 20 Bodo positions overall, I guess, across different colleges in Assam. So
sure.
If there is a position in the Bodo department, this tag is also been updated. You will get to see a different tag here. The positions in Bodo department. So if you have a position in the Bodo department, so as per government notification, it is a unique case where the position being the post being a substantive post and the employees being a permanent employee, still they're exempted from roster and reservations. So that is why a specific provision has been done for the Bodo position as per government notifications. So here, Sagar, please show what are the provisions made for the Bodo positions. Go back once, please go back, and then you can come back from that point. Go back again. Yeah, now click here. So here, positions in Bodo department, please don't get confused. This will only be applicable. This will be visible to all the colleges, but this will all depend on whether there is any sanction post of Bodo in your college. If it is not there, you can kindly leave it. If it is there, only then you will have to add it. Okay. So now click there. Click on the Bodo department. Yeah. So now request for Bodo position. So here you will enter the total border positions, total allotted positions. Let's say to your college, there are 3 positions that are allotted. You'll put 3. Number of already recruited Bodo employees. So in your college, you already have 2 people, already 2 working incumbents. You'll write 2 here. Number of positions you want to advertise. Let's say you have 1. 1 position you want to advertise, you'll write 1. And then the allotment or the sanction letter. So here you will have to upload the allotment letter that you received from the government for that particular Bodo post. Whatever allotment letter you have received, you will upload it here. But now here there is also a catch here. So there could be a situation that you have received 2 allotment letters. You have, out of the 3 posts, let's say you have received 2 posts in 1 allotment letter, and 2 years down the line you have received a 3rd post in another allotment letter. There could be multiple allotment letters. So in that case, there is this provision underneath. You will see that allotment order number. You will put the first allotment order number. Sagar, ek baar dalo niche. Allotment order number. Just put anything. Any allotment order number. And then the order date. Just write allotment 1. Order 1, you can put the date. And then there is this plus button here. This will be visible. This will be highlighted. There will be plus button. The way you have done for positions in the HRMS, there will be a plus button here. So suppose you have another post in another allotment order, you will put order number 2. You can write the next, the order number of the next allotment number. You will put order number 2. Order 2, and then put the date. And in the allotment and sanction letter, you could be a confusion that now since we have 2 allotment letters, but there is only provision of upload in one of the fields, so what do we do now? So here it is mentioned very clearly, in case you have multiple allotment orders, you need to merge all the allotment orders in one PDF and make sure that the size is less than 5 MB. So it should be less than 5 MB. You can merge, if you have one allotment order, upload it. If you have multiple allotment orders, merge it as one file. And if the size exceeds 5, compress it. If it does not exceed 5 MB, you can just upload it here. And then description remarks. Now this is one window of communication that you have with your appointing authority. So whatever, if you wish to write, you can write it here and save it. That is all. So here for board opposition request details also here, the higher authorities will be able to see total board opposition 3, total number of board employees 2, number you want to advertise 1, and then the allotment letter that will be viewable document. Will be able to the higher authorities will be able to view it, and the allotment numbers. What are the allotment numbers and what are the dates? That will also come. So that is for the board opposition. So these are the updates which were done, and we have made the manual. I mean, from SAMARTH end, so it was done. So the manual was done very, very clearly. Each and every single thing is mentioned in detail. So Sagar, you can just show the manual as well. I'm showing the manual. Sharing.
Sir. Yes. Okay, sir.
I'm sharing this manual. So here, everything, one by one, things are mentioned here. Step-by-step instruction. Where to go, what to do, step by step, each and every single thing is mentioned. How to add the roster, how to configure the points. Point configurations are mentioned here. Then for each point, what is to be done. These are mentioned: social category, date of employment. Then important. These are important things. Refer only to the latest approved and signed roster notification from the directorate. Entries must precisely match sanction categories and counts.
Hello, আপনার পার্সোনাল নাম্বারটা কাইন্ডলি একটু দিবেন। রেকর্ডিং হচ্ছে না ব্যাপার হচ্ছে রেকর্ডিং হচ্ছে
Excuse me.
Yeah, so right after the meeting, there will be one more. The Bodo thing will also be added here. The Bodo post position that will also be added, and we'll share it immediately with you right after the meeting. And Sagar, कब तक ये हो जाएगा? Roster button visible to all.
I'll make sure it enables in 5 minutes. 5-10 minutes after the session.
No, but just before that, Kaushik is there. Kaushik, you can just update 1 or 2 screenshots with the Bodo position details.
Okay, yeah.
In the manual that is left out. So you can just make it as like is optional. And smart. I'll also write something there. So we'll have to write that this is only specific to the colleges which have Bodo positions.
Okay.
Pranjal, মই ৰঞ্জন কলিতাই কৈছিলো বড়ো পোষ্টৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত অৱশ্যে মানে সকলোবোৰ বড়ো পোষ্ট তাৰমানে ৰোষ্টাৰ ফ্ৰী নহয় কিছুমান পুৰণা যিবিলাক বড়ো পোষ্ট আছিলে তাহানিৰে সেইখিনি কিন্তু ৰোষ্টাৰত থাকিব কিন্তু যিবিলাক নিউলি ক্ৰিয়েটেড আফটাৰ 17 সেইখিনি ৰোষ্টাৰ ফ্ৰী হৈ আছে মানে আমাৰ কিছুমান কলেজ আছে যে বহুত পুৰণা বড়ো পোষ্ট আছে আমাৰ ৰঙাপৰা কলেজ ৰঙিয়া কলেজ বা বিটিএডিৰ বহু কলেজ আছে যে মানে সেইটো ভাগতে থকা সেইখিনি কিন্তু ৰোষ্টাৰত অলৰেডি সেট হৈ আছে কিন্তু লাষ্টত যিখিনি স্যাংচন কৰিলে এই যিখন মই লিষ্ট দিছিলো তাৰ মানে সেইখিনি কিন্তু ৰোষ্টাৰ ফ্ৰী হয়
নহয় ইয়াত মই আহিছো ইয়াতে আপোনাৰ যেটো বড়ো পোষ্টখিনি ৰোষ্টাৰ ফ্ৰী কৰা স্পিৰিটটো কি যদি বড়ো পোষ্টখিনি ওপেন হৈ যায় তেতিয়াহলে আপুনি তাতে মানুহ নাপাব কাৰণ এইখিনি সাবজেক্টটো বড়ো মানুহে পঢ়াব বড়ো যি পঢ়িছে গতিকে যদি আপুনি ৰোষ্টাৰ আউটাৰ পৰা বাহিৰত হয় সেইটো ইউআৰ হৈ যাব পাৰে এসটিএইচ হৈ যাব পাৰে এসটিপি হৈ যোৱাৰ লগে এনি এসটিপি উইল বি এবল টু এপ্লাই ফৰ দিছ পোষ্ট সেইকাৰণে ইমান বড়ো পোষ্ট আছে এইখিনি ৰোষ্টাৰ আউটাৰ বাহিৰত থাকিব সো দ্যাট এইখিনি ফিক্স হৈ থাকিব যদি ৰোষ্টাৰ ৰেজিষ্টাৰ আপোনাৰ সেইমতে ভুল হৈ আছে কাৰেক্ট কৰি লওক
স্যার এটা মোৰ প্ৰশ্ন এটা আছিলে বড়ো পোষ্টক লৈ স্যাৰ সেইটো আছিলে এনেকুৱা যে আমাৰ দুটা বড়ো পোষ্ট স্যাংচন আছে সেইটো আমি ৰোষ্টাৰৰ বাহিৰতে ৰাখিছো কিন্তু যেহেতু দুইটা আমাৰ অলৰেডি ৰিকুইট হৈ গ'ল আমি ৰিক্ৰুটমেন্ট হৈ গৈছে আমাৰ মানে এপইন্টমেন্ট হৈ গৈছে এতিয়া আমি এতিয়া যেটো মানে অপচন দেখালে তাতটো নতুন পোষ্টৰ কাৰণে যেতিয়া আমি এডভাৰটাইজ কৰিম তেতিয়াহে এই পজিশনখিনি লাগিব আদাৰৱাইজ এতিয়াতো তাত একো কৰিবলগীয়া আমাৰ বোধহয় নাথাকিব
নহয় সেইটো পোষ্ট আহাৰ লগে লগে আপোনাৰ কাউন্টটো বেছি হোৱাৰ লগে লগে আপোনাৰ ৰোষ্টাৰ ক্যালকুলেশন বেলেগ হৈ যাব ফৰ ইনষ্টেন্স আপোনাৰ 20টা পোষ্ট আছে বড়োকেইটা আপোনাৰ 22টা হৈ যায় 22টা যেতিয়া আপুনি ৰোষ্টাৰ কৰিব এক্স ক্যাটাগৰীৰ কাৰণে যি ৰিজাৰ্ভেশন আহি থাকিব বেলেগ বেলেগ আহি থাকিব কিন্তু 20টাৰ কাৰণে কৰিলে বেলেগ ফৰ্মুলা আহিব
নহয় স্যাৰ আমি সেইটো কৈছো আমি সেই আমাৰ অলমোস্ট 50টা আছে তাৰে বাহিৰত আছে এই দুটা মানে আমি ৰোষ্টাৰ মেইনটেইন কৰিছো আমাৰ এছআৰএমএছ আমাৰ ৰোষ্টাৰ হৈ আছে কমপ্লিট তাত আমি বহুত পোষ্ট দুটা সোমোৱা নাই এটা ৰোষ্টাৰ বাহিৰতে ৰাখিছো কিন্তু এতিয়া যিটো অপচন এটা দেখালে যে নতুন এডভাৰটাইজৰ কাৰণে দিব লাগে বুলি কাৰণ আমাৰ এতিয়া এডভাৰটাইজ কৰিবলগীয়া নাই আমি অলৰেডি ৰিক্ৰুটমেন্ট হৈ আছে আমাৰ এপইন্টমেন্ট হৈ আছে এতিয়া আমি এই পজিশনটো কিবা কৰিব লাগিব নেকি সেইটো সেই কাৰণে সুধিছিলো
নাই যেতিয়া আপোনালোকৰ এটা ভেকেঞ্চি আহি থাকিব এডভাৰটাইজমেণ্ট হৈ থাকিব
তেতিয়া বৰ্ডৰ কাৰণে আমি এই
এপইণ্টমেণ্ট মডেলটো চব কলেজৰ কাৰণে নহয় যাৰ যাৰ ভেকেঞ্চি হয় সিয়ে কৰে এতিয়া চবকে শিকাই থৈছো
হয় ঠিক আছে থেংক ইউ
হয় ছাৰ মই ৰঞ্জন কলিতাই কৈছিলো তাৰমানে আমাৰ ৰোষ্টাৰখন এপ্ৰুভ কৰোঁতে সেইটো আমাৰ 3টা পোষ্ট তাৰমানে ৰোষ্টাৰৰ বাহিৰত বড়ো পোষ্ট 3টা পোষ্ট পিছত দিয়া কিন্তু এটা বহুত পুৰণা পোষ্ট সেইটো অলৰেডি STত তাৰমানে আগৰ পৰাই চিষ্টেমতে ছেট হৈ সেইমতে এপইণ্টমেণ্ট হৈ ৰৈ আছে আৰু 3টা পোষ্ট তাৰমানে লাষ্টত আমাৰ অনাৰেবল কেবিনেটে দিয়া মতে ৰোষ্টাৰৰ বাহিৰত আছে
আপুনি এই কথাটো কৈ লওক কাইলৈ বস্তুটো ৰোষ্টাৰ বাহিৰত নাথাকে পোষ্টটো বেলেগ কেটেগৰীৰ কাৰণে অপেন হৈ যাব পাৰে নেকি যদি তেনেকুৱা প্ৰবেবিলিটি আছে তেতিয়াহ'লে তাক ৰোষ্টাৰ পইণ্টৰ পৰা বাহিৰত ৰাখি দিয়ক যদি সেই হিচাপে আপোনাৰ ৰোষ্টাৰখন কাৰেকশ্যন লাগে কাৰেকশ্যন
ৰোষ্টাৰখন ছাৰ এইটো হ'লে হৈ যাব মানে ST যিহেতু ST Pতে আছে গতিকে তেতিয়া সেইটোৱে থাকিব আৰু 3টাটো অপেন হৈ থাকিল তাত আৰু ৰোষ্টাৰৰ কথা নাহেই সেইমতে থাকিলে ভাল হ'ব যেন মোৰ ধাৰণা হয় নহ'লে আকৌ সমস্যাটো দীঘলীয়া হৈ যাব গোটেই আকৌ এণ্ডৰ্ছমেণ্ট অনাৰ পৰা ধৰি আৰু 75% আমাৰ তাৰমানে আমি বাদ দি থৈছো আমাৰ টোটেল 48টা কিন্তু আমাৰ 45টা হৈ আছে এতিয়া ৰোষ্টাৰত আৰু
হয় স্যাৰ মোৰ এটা কোৱেশ্চন আছিল স্যাৰ স্যাৰ এই PTR ৰেচিঅ'টোত স্যাৰ ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্টৰ অকল মেজৰ ষ্টুডেণ্ট কনচিডাৰ হয় নে স্যাৰ মেজৰ মাইনৰ দুইটাই হ'ব স্যাৰ
কি প্ৰভিজন কৰিলা
স্যাৰ দুইটাই আছে স্যাৰ মেজৰো আছে আৰু মাইনৰ ফাৰ্ষ্ট মাইনৰ যোনটো লৈ থৈছে সেইটো আছে
ওকে মেজৰ আৰু মাইনৰ ওৱানটো মানে দুইটা হ'ব আৰু কমন ছাবজেক্টবোৰ নাহে নহয় তাতে AEC MDC এইবোৰ যিবোৰ আছে
এইখিনি হলেতো আপোনাৰ কলেজৰ গোটেই ডাবল হৈ যাব সেইটো কোৰ্ছৰ এনৰোলমেণ্টৰ ওপৰত আছে
ওকে ঠিক আছে
মানে একেটা ষ্টুডেণ্টে মাল্টিপল
হ'ব
আপোনাৰ 2000 ষ্টুডেণ্ট আছে যদি 8 হ'ব গৈ পিছত
হয় ঠিক আছে
সেইটো আপোনাৰ ৱৰ্কলোডত আহিব আপোনালোকে ছাৰক এড্ৰেছ কৰি পেলাই সুধক কিবা থাকিলে
মই মৰিয়নি কলেজৰ পৰা ক'লো
মৰিয়নি কলেজ কওক
আমাৰ মানে যেতিয়া HRMS প্ৰথম পৰ্যায়তে আমি ঠিক কৰিছিলো তেতিয়া ৰোষ্টাৰত ছাৰ EWS পোষ্টটো আছিলে EWS পোষ্টটো ভৰাই থোৱা আছিলে কিন্তু তাৰ পিছত যেতিয়া EWS কিন্তু আমি HRMS কাৰেক্ট কৰা নাই এইটো ছাৰ HRMS কাৰেক্ট কৰিবলৈ আমাক খুলি দিব নেকি বাবা
মানে আপোনালোকে HRMS ভুল হৈ আছে নে মানে ক'ত হৈ আছে প্ৰবলেমটো কি হৈ আছে
ৰোষ্টাৰটো ফাৰ্ষ্ট পৰ্যায়ত যেতিয়া হৈছিলে তেতিয়া আমাৰ ৰোষ্টাৰ EWS পোষ্ট কেইটা মানে তেতিয়া গভৰ্ণমেণ্টৰ পৰা আছিলে আমাৰ এপইণ্টটো হৈছিলে EWSত পিছত যেতিয়া HRMS ফাৰ্ষ্ট টাৰ্মত যেতিয়া HRMS ট্ৰেইনিং হৈছিলে তেতিয়া HRMS আমাক যেতিয়া ফিট কৰিবলৈ কৈছিলে তেতিয়া আমি EWS ফিট কৰিছিলো পিছৰ পৰ্যায়ত যেতিয়া ক'লে যে EWSটো নহয় ৰোষ্টাৰখন মডিফাই হ'ব লাগে আমি ৰোষ্টাৰখন মডিফাই কৰিলো ৰোষ্টাৰখন মডিফাই কৰাৰ পিছত কিন্তু HRMSত মডিফাই হোৱা নাই কিন্তু
মানে আপোনাৰ ৰোষ্টাৰখন অকল আপলোড কৰিব লাগে নে তাৰ ভিতৰৰ পইণ্টছখিনি চেঞ্জ কৰিব লাগে
পইণ্টছখিনি চেঞ্জ কৰিব লাগে মানে
ঠিক আছে তেতিয়াহ'লে সেইটো হৈ যাব বাৰু সেইটো সুমিত্ৰা বাইদেউ মাজে মাজে হেৰি কৰিয়ে থাকে
স্যাৰ এটা প্ৰশ্ন আছিলে
হেল্ল' স্যাৰ
মই লালা কলেজৰ পৰা কৈছিলো এটা কোৱেশ্চন আছিলে
নগাঁও কলেজ ক'ব
প্ৰিন্সিপাল চাপাগ্ৰাম কলেজ কৰি আছো স্যাৰ আমাৰ এটা পাৰ্সোনাল পোষ্ট আছে টোটাল পোষ্ট আছে 25
নগাঁও কলেজত কৈ দিয়ক তাৰপিছত আপুনি ক'ব নগাঁও কলেজ কোনোবা যে নগাঁও কলেজৰ পৰা কম বুলি কৈছিলে কোন কলেজ কৈছিলে
স্যাৰ লালা কলেজে কৈছিলো স্যাৰ
লালা কলেজ ঠিক আছে
হয় স্যাৰ এটা প্ৰশ্ন আছিলে স্যাৰ যে কিছুমান পোষ্ট আমাৰ মানে এডভাৰটাইজমেন্ট হৈ পেলাই প্ৰপ'জেলটো ডাইৰেক্টৰ বাইদেউৰ লগত তাতে গৈছে সেইখিনি পইণ্ট আমি চেংচন পইণ্টত এতিয়া ভেকেন্ট দেখাম নে